I want to talk about just where we are right now in the Western Conference play-in race, because we had this whole thing situated on Friday, what we were going to talk about, and then Kyrie Irving decides to hit one of the greatest regular season buzzer beaters of all time. And as someone who is like had to try to find the historical gravity of all of this, I went through in my mind and I Googled a little bit of like all-time buzzer beaters for regular season, and all I got was postseason. So I had to go off the top of the head. But I think that this, Howard, goes up with the Kobe three-pointer against the Miami Heat, right? I think this also, it's not quite Steph against Oklahoma City Thunder in terms of greatest, but I think it's up there. When time will tell, I think it'll be up there with the Kobe. I think it'll be up there with the Magic over the Magic Johnson over the Boston Celtics in the regular season. I think there's a Kevin Durant buzzer beater on a Christmas day in 2011. Where do you see this in the lore of regular season buzzer beaters when you go back and look? It's really early, but this was pretty great.
Yeah. First of all, just absolutely ridiculous. Like everybody else, I was watching it in real time and I think, fell off whatever I was sitting on, couch, chair, coffee table. I don't even remember. I fell off of something. Incredible shot. And it's the kind of shot you just kind of like laugh when you see it. Like, what did I just even see? How did that even happen? He's driving to his left, throwing up a lefty kind of pseudo jump hook, whatever. He's 21 feet from the basket. I think 21 was the official record in the play-by-play. It just doesn't even look possible. So it's actually just kind of like silly, but also spectacular. And not for nothing, this didn't come against like the Hornets. It came against the defending champs in a game that, all right, it's regular season. To your point, all right, where does it rank in all time? I don't know where it ranks in all-time regular season buzzer beaters because we don't spend a lot of time thinking about great regular season buzzer beaters because they just simply don't mean as much in the moment, right? What we'll remember this shot for is just the degree of difficulty and that it came against the defending champs. And in a mid-March game, too, right? We're getting close to the postseason. So it's impressive in the sense that, like, it feels like this says something about where the Mavs are and how dangerous they are. In fact, actually, Bill was talking on his pod with Russillo about the fact that he thinks this underscores why he thinks the Mavs are the scariest of the play-in teams. I'm not sure I agree with him there. We can get there, but, like, I understand why. Kyrie and Luka can both just pull shots out of their butts, and they do on a regular basis. I actually had a different comp for this shot, if you want to hear it, but it is not a regular season shot.
What is it?
It's a strange one because it's one that no one ever thinks about, and it wasn't a buzzer beater. 2004 Western Conference second round, Lakers-Spurs. Tim Duncan hits a shot with Shaq on him and Karl Malone charging toward him, falling to his left, also from about 20 feet in that, behind the free throw line area. And that shot is not known for anything or even remembered because it happened with it went through with 0.4 seconds left. And it's the 0.4 that matters here because it's what happened next that everybody remembers, which is Derek Fisher's .4 shot.
The old one lucky shot deserves another shot. And
I'm there for that one, of course. This is my last year as a Lakers beat writer at the LA Daily News. We are still sitting courtside, sideline in those days. So Tim Duncan's driving toward us. So as he's fading to his left, and he falls down at the end of this. Because
over Shaq.
He's so off balance. Over Shaq, and he's so off balance, he falls down. He is falling down toward us. He was driving, side to side toward us, falls down toward us. And we're just sitting there just like in shock and disbelief at this impossible shot that Tim Duncan hit. Now he did shoot with his right hand, not his left, but he's driving to his left, which is what made it so hard. So that's the part of it that Kyrie's shot reminded me of, was basically where he was on the court, which direction he was driving, kind of parallel to the basket as he launches off balance. So that's the one. But that's the thing, right? Like Duncan's shot immediately wasn't a buzzer beater, immediately gets negated by Derek Fisher's shot. And of course, that series is then known for that because that was game 5. It was 2-2. Lakers win that game. They win game 6. They go on to the conference finals and eventually the finals. But that was the immediate image in my own head.
I get the comp. I do get the comp. Are you saying that Kyrie's shot on this one was a Derek Fisher shot, obviously, right? Just for the difficulty. You're saying it was You're saying it was the Duncan shot. It was a Duncan shot?
It was the Duncan shot based on where he was on the court in relation to the basket and driving to his left and having to put up a weird shot back almost to his right as he's driving to the left. But in Kyrie's case, he throws up with his left hand. Like, degree of difficulty harder for Kyrie. And he's also a foot shorter than
it was Duncan, it was ridiculous. I have a counterpoint to you, though, Howard. And in terms of the importance. Now, yes, on the face of it, it is a mid-March regular season game. But I think with the advent of the play-in, this takes on a whole new meaning because we don't know what this shot is going to mean in terms of the standings and where we go down the stretch of this right now. This win put the Mavericks square into a three-way tie with the Suns and the Kings for the play-in ramifications. The Kings, as it stands right now, are 6th in the Western Conference. They are officially out of the play-in for now. Mavericks are 7th. The Suns are 8th. And this is setting up to be one of the all-time Western Conference play-in finishes, I believe, right now, right? Because I'm looking at the standings right now, and the Mavericks have the Warriors twice, they have the Kings twice on the road. It's one of those interesting. I think I'm gonna go to both of those games where it's where you have the stay in the city I think the Mavericks play the Kings on March 26th and March 29th. So it's going to be one of those types of series. It's going to be a fun setup. But I think this is going to be bigger than we think it is because we have to take into account what the play-in means right now and trying to get out of the play-in. And I think we're going to start having to train our minds for this time of year because we're starting to not only this game, Howard. The Suns game was really competitive in spurts. The Warriors-Lakers game, which we're going to get into later in this segment for different types of headlines. But you're starting to see just playoff basketball in March, and which is what I love. There's some people that have talked bad about the play-in, LeBron, but this is why the play-in is good because there's so many ramifications down the stretch for the bottom tier of the bracket when we normally wouldn't have these types of games.
No, for sure. And look, it's all those little inflection points, right? So the Kings are by a thread. Like I don't even know what tiebreaker's being in play here. Actually, no, I guess it's by percentage points. The Kings are in 6th in the West by 0.002 over the Mavericks. So hanging by a thread. And that, like in the past, the real stakes of 6 versus 7 were you just trying to avoid the second seed potentially. Now you're a playoff team versus a play-in team, and possibly facing, in the case of the 7 seed double elimination, but still, like it's a much more perilous spot. So we have that drama in play, and to your point, the Mavericks with that win, they're still in play to now overtake the Kings for 6th and just secure a straight up playoff spot.